I want to turn to you, Dan, and talk about, whether or not we're going to see Israel perhaps turning to Ukraine for assistance in combating these issues. Obviously that has not happened as a result of relations with Russia, but could that now change?
I think it could, because even though, as Yaakov says, there are many countermeasures that you can take, some aspects of it are very difficult to defend against. We can expect these drones to get more and more sophisticated, more and more difficult to detect, more and more difficult to defend against, cheaper and cheaper. It's part of this basic asymmetric warfare, where jihadist groups, non-state actors, state actors that are otherwise limited, can create a tremendous offensive ability with very little investment. Israel's new security doctrine basically speaks of preventing the enemy from having the means. But
Right.
when the means are very cheap to achieve, that is a major, major problem. Now, Israel's advantage, of course, is it's one of the world's leading technological superpowers, and it is one of the high-tech laboratories of the entire planet. So you can assume that Israel, via startups, via government investment, via its fairly large defense tech companies that have been around for decades, will come up with answers. But it nonetheless is a very difficult prospect to consider that in addition to missiles, various ranges, and in addition to the land invasion that Hamas carried out so sadly successfully on October 7th, you now have the possibility of drones that are going to become miniature, maybe like
Right.
flies at some point. There was a Black Mirror episode that way, and I think we're about 5 years away from that. Ukraine, by dint of necessity, is on the leading edge of this. And Ukraine, of course, has the one of three major Jewish heads of government in the world. And I think he'd like to be a friend of Israel, but Israel's kept them at arm's length because of a potentially unwise reluctance to upset Russia too much. And what did it get Israel? Russia's allied with Iran. So I can see, especially given Zelensky just did a Middle East tour and went to almost every relevant country but Israel, that fixing that, in addition to the
Right.
$700 million investment, will be on the table.